I'm Jackie.
And I'm Camille. Welcome to Two Studios Art Channel.
Hit like and subscribe to get our free demos and tutorials right to your inbox.
Happy painting!
Hello everyone, I'm Jackie from Two Studios Art, and today we're going to do a very quick painting called Painting Peonies with Acrylics. These are beautiful peonies that my friend Barbara gave to me. The paint we're using today is Opus Essential Acrylic Colors, and the colors we're using today are titanium white, lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, orange, cadmium orange, cadmium red light, primary red, quinacridone magenta, purple violet, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and black. And I most likely won't use the black, but we'll see as we go along. The brushes I'm using today are a 1-inch angled slider brush. I'm using a 1-inch rounded filbert, size 12 filbert, and a small round brush. So we're going to get started, and you'll notice that there's no green on the palette, and that's because I like to mix my own greens. And my goal today on this 9x12 canvas panel is not to get the whole of the picture of the peonies in, and I haven't shown you a shot of the peonies, but we'll put them in later. And I've got these lovely full peonies with green leaves and blue vase. I'm not going to try and get everything in. I'm just going to actually try and get an impression of the peonies in. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix up a couple of greens. So we're going to mix up some greens and then get started. So I'm going to do first an earthy type of green using the cadmium yellow light and the ultramarine blue. And that will give me a nice earthy green. There it is there. If I want it to be more earthy, I would add a titchy bit of cadmium red into it. And that's a little bit too much. It's too earthy, but not bad. So that's one green. The next green I'm going to do is going to be a much brighter green. So I'm going to do cadmium yellow light with the phthalo blue. That'll give me a gorgeous light green. I should say a bright green. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white to some of it to make a very pale green. I'm going to go back now to the ultramarine blue. This is too earthy, so I'm going to go back to the cadmium yellow light, the ultramarine blue, and just add a different green. I put too much red in that one. So there I've got 4 different greens, one bit too earthy, but that's all right because when you look at the leaves, you actually see a lot of red in there. So that's my starting point. I've mixed the greens. But as you know, there's going to be a lot of pinks because the peonies have a lot of pinks in them. So I'm going to start off with my angled shader. This is a long-handled brush. I prefer the short ones, but that's all right. And I'm going to go into the ultramarine blue to get just a little bit of that vase. It's going to be off-centered. So just a little bit of the vase. And I picked up some purple there. That wasn't my plan, but that's okay. I'll go back in. And it's okay because it will actually pick up the reflection of some of the peonies. Add a little bit of white in there. The light is coming from this side of the canvas, from the window, so that's going to have some details. So this is going to be, oops, there's a lot of purple in there. This is going to be an impressionistic type of painting. It's not going to be realistic particularly. And there we go, okay. Later on, when that dries a little bit, I'll add a little bit of the cut glass detail of the vase. Okay, so now I'm just going to very, very quickly put in some of the the stems of the peonies and the leaves. They are kind of a heart-shaped leaf. And coming down. It's, as I said, I'm not going for realism. I'm going to go for the joyful feeling that the peonies give you. Lighter leaves. So the leaves are very light. And some in the middle are going to be, the middle is going to be very dark, the middle of the bouquet that I'm looking at. Very dark. And of course the acrylic's drying extremely fast. So this again is an impressionistic painting of the peonies. So now I'm going to go in with the phthalo blue for the, it won't be this blue when I get going. It's just I want to give depth to the middle, so I'm going to add some yellow to that. I'm just trying to get some depth in there because there's no light in the middle of the bouquet. The leaves are very dense, so it's dark. Okay, there, so get some of the, it's quite brown now, that green that I added too much red to. But that's okay because sometimes it does look brown. And we don't have to worry about it drying too slowly today because it's drying really fast. So later on I'll add some highlights to the leaves. As you can see, this is an off-centered painting. The vase is to this side. And I'm just going to get some lighter stems going up here. With even some yellow in them. I'm not going to worry about a background color just now. But you can see if you put the lighter stems over the darker background, it creates a bit of depth to the leaves, the structure of the leaves. There, okay. That one was quite light, so I'm going to add some light. That leaf there was quite light. I haven't even started on the peonies yet. That's okay. My goal is to do a fast and fresh painting of peonies. Okay, so here we go. All right, now I'm going to switch to my 1-inch filbert brush. And the peonies are just absolutely gorgeous flowers. The middle of the peony is full of squiggly little so I won't bother with the 1-inch filbert right now. I'm going to go to the number 12 filbert. And I'm going to start mixing some quinacridone magenta with a tiny bit of white. And those are the darks. So I'm going to now start with one of the peonies with the deeper squiggles in the middle. They're just beautiful flowers. I get in some of the primary red in there too. And a little bit of the whites. Some of them appear a little bit orangey, but I'll add some of the little bit of orangey bits later. Or add a little bit into the magenta now. So those are the inner part of, that's the inner part. And the ones at the top, you can't see the inner parts too much, but I'm just going to get a little bit of going, just to get a start on it. I guess I'm trying to just do how they make me feel rather than what they actually look like. It's not a botanical study, let's put it that way. There we go. Okay, some of the primary red with white will give you a different pink. More of a flatter pink. There. Okay, so that's 4. Normally, you would never have an even number. So let's get a different number, and then there's 5. Okay. So now I'm going to go for a lighter pink. with the same number 12 filbert. Just dabbing away at impression of the yeah, don't worry too much about it. Just, I think one of the things that is important is to get a darker center of your bouquet. You don't have to have a bouquet in front of you. You can be working from a photograph. It doesn't matter, but just get a darker bouquet. Okay, now I'm going to go into the 1-inch filbert because the outside petals of the peonies are large and they're not squiggly. They're large petals, like almost like a cup surrounding the squiggly petals. And depending, of course, the angle that you're looking at. That's primary red. They're large rounded petals, the outside of the peonies. The outside petals. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a very light pink now, almost white. Oh, not quite light enough. There we go. There. They're just lovely flowers, beautiful flowers. So we've covered up most of the leaves. That doesn't matter. We can put more in if we like. Now I'm going to go to put in at the bottom of the peonies. There's some little, I don't know what they're called, sepals, maybe little leaves. I'm going to go back into my greens, maybe a medium green with a bit of white. Add a bit more blue in there. And try to get some of those in there at the bottom of the ones that are, you're looking from the bottom up, you can see them. Yeah, the ones you can't see as much. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of take my tiny round brush and mix up some, I haven't used the orange yet, but I'm going to put a little bit of orange, a little bit of cadmium red, some white, and get myself some little squiggly centers in there. Just a little bit of different coloration in the middle. Maybe go back into the magenta that's not mixed with white. Get a little bit of that in there. You know, when you first start out, you're looking at your flowers, but then towards the end of your painting, you're looking at your painting and just thinking, right, what does it need? Okay, and I'm going to go back to my angled shader brush and get a little bit of detail in the vase. The vase is a cut glass vase. So I'm just going to go into white, get a few little, not too accurate, but approximate details with the white. It's a cut glass with some different shapes in it. Kind of a crisscross shape. There, with some lines here. Some lines there. This is a beautiful blue vase given to me by my daughter-in-law, Sarah, from Dalian, China. A long time ago. So now I'm just going to get in some of these little bits of leaves with a kind of a teal blue there. And now I'm starting to think of a background color. I can leave it white, which I might do, or I'm just going to test a color that I think might be a good background color. That would be white with a little bit of phthalo blue. And I'm just going to see if I like this background color. If I don't like it, I'll paint over it. It is acrylic, it'll dry fast. I kind of like it. You don't have to have it forever when it's so easy to let it dry and paint over. Get a bit of that color in the vase too. Okay, I kind of like that. Now my question is, do I paint the whole background that color, or do I do the table a different color? Maybe I'll do that. I'll just put in a bit of a darker blue, same blue but darker, and see what I think. If I don't like it, I'll change it. I don't like it. Okay. Okay, so that's going to dry really fast. I'm going to put lots of white in there because I do not like it. It's your painting. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to change your mind because a painting is a dance. You put something down, you like it, you don't like it. Okay. Now I might go back into darker green just to get a little bit of definition into the stems, or the leaves, I should say. There's a darker green. You can buy greens. I do like sap green, but I find that if you buy green, you'll get greens that are all the same. And when you look at the world, there's so many greens, and they're not the same. They're just thousands and thousands of greens in the world. So it's best to mix up your own. Okay, and I'm just going to look at it and see if there's anything else I need. So I'm just going to pick up the painting. That's not too bad, actually. Remember, your painting doesn't have to be perfect. It can't be, but it should make you feel happy and joyous. And I think I'm going to do one other little thing, and that is I'm going to get some yellow in that green. More yellow and some green, because I'm seeing quite a bit of yellow in the underleaves. So I've added yellow and white, and I'm just going to go back and get some of that pale. Yeah, I like that. Experiment. See what you like. See what makes you happy. See what brings you pleasure. It's your painting. It doesn't belong to anybody else. Okay, that's better. A little bit of reflection on the vase. We've got a little purpley pink reflection on the vase. You could even get a little bit more if you want. And also one last thing is sometimes there's quite a bit of orange in the leaves. So we're going to go drying my brush on the, when I clean my brush, I'm drying it on the tissue. That makes a difference. So you can get a bit of an orangey line to some of your leaves if you like. Don't have to, just if you like. Yeah, and it pops it out a little bit more too. It's joining up with the orange in the middle of the flowers. Yeah, there we go. Get a little highlight on the vase. I like bright colors, so I do have to stop myself. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Maybe go back in with the, we haven't really used the purple. Get a little bit in there. Purple magenta. Okay. Okay, there we have it. Okay, let's just recap. What I did, I decided not to get the whole of the vase in, just a little bit. Started in on the leaves, sketched in some leaves. I made a darker area in the center. It's pretty much disappeared, but if you squint, you can still see some of the darker area. And then I started in with the middle of the peonies, small little strokes. Then I switched to my filbert brush, my 1-inch filbert, for the larger outside petals. And there you have it, everybody. Painting peonies with acrylics. That was a very fast painting. It didn't take too long. Finally I added in a bit of background color, changed it a little bit, modulated it, added a little bit of yellowy green to make it something that I felt happier with. And there we go. So this is a happy little painting that you can try at home. You don't need to have real peonies. You could be looking at pictures of peonies. I actually added this one in. It wasn't facing me in the bouquet, so you can do whatever you like. So I'm Jackie from Two Studios Art. Please watch us, like us on YouTube, Two Studios Art. And please have fun painting, enjoy your painting, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.